Hi there. My name is William, and I live in Vermont. I work full-time nights, as you can probably tell by the horrible circles under my eyes. I work nights at Central Vermont Medical Center in Berlin, Vermont. Um, I think, honestly, my favorite food has to either be like Asian gourmet type of, like Asian fusion type food, or just straight seafood. Any kind. I'm really a sucker for like oysters or a good shrimp cocktail or something like that. That's easy to enjoy in the summer. Um, I've only been a therapist for it'll be 3 years this July, um, but so far between the normal day-to-day learning of the job and COVID and all that, it's been a lot. It's been a very long 3 years. Um, so yeah, no. One of the areas I kind of would like to get into. It's not a super new area, but ECMO therapy. Um, ECMO is one of those things I don't get to see a lot. My hospital is only a very small community hospital. It has about 100, I want to say 120 inpatient beds total. But regardless, it's still quite busy. So yeah, ECMO therapy it had always sounded really interesting to me. Just how you manage those patients when you take full control of their inputs and outputs and their balances and all that. Um, and really just managing critically ill patients like that. To that end, I've actually started, on top of trying to get my bachelor's degree here at Boise State, I've begun to research or get the study material and study to get my adult critical care specialist credential so that I can go on and apply to some larger trauma centers and stuff and just kind of boost my resume for those. Another area that kind of I've always wanted to get into is NICU. When I was a student, I'd spent a lot of time in the NICU. While, I mean, we couldn't do a whole lot in the NICU, but it always seemed really cool. And I think the benefit of my hospital and being so small and only having, two or three therapists on a shift is that we get to work in every area. And we do have a moderately busy women and children's unit, which is basically just a labor and delivery unit. So it's kind of been nice to be able to, go through and do C-sections and deliveries and run some ventilators from time to time, or even bubble CPAP on the kiddos before they get picked up and sent up to the NICU in Burlington, Vermont. Um, so yeah, I think in the future I'm gonna really try and get into ECMO in kids in some degree. Um, my biggest professional challenge, honestly, and I think this goes for a lot of newer, younger therapists, was the whole battle of COVID. Not just, COVID itself, but how it impacted our learning. And when I started this job, I kind of got tossed in the deep end, between staffing shortages and everything. I was on orientation for about 6 months back in 2021, but about I want to say 2.5 months in, 2.5 months in, I was basically holding my own pager and my own assignment, regardless of the fact that I was still on orientation. So kind of trial by fire, I think. And the whole COVID situation was one of my biggest professional challenges yet that I've had to kind of overcome. On top of that, more specific to the job, trachs have always been kind of an area that's been kind of difficult for me, specifically just because we don't get a lot of trachs. And the same thing with pediatric traumas or things of that nature, because again, we're a very small community hospital, we don't get a lot of it. But I'm hoping that through, I picked this class because I believe this is one of the electives that Boise makes you take. It seemed like one that I could apply the most to my job, studying specific, diseases and specific things about our profession. So yeah, no, I'm looking excited to get on the road for this 7 weeks here that's coming up, and looking forward to working with you all. Okay, thank you.